Hello, this podcast has been created with early years teachers and teaching assistants in mind, but may be of interest to anyone who looks after children between the ages of 6 months and 5 years old during the daytime. First, we will explore how napping evolves throughout early development and the variation in napping preferences between same-age children. We will also explain how learning outcomes may be enhanced through daytime napping and discuss the idea that children should nap as much as they need rather than as much as possible. Sleep supports children's overall emotional and physical health as well as their learning ability. During the first 5 years of life, sleep patterns undergo a significant transformation. Generally, sleep in early infancy is polyphasic and includes 4 or more naps per day. As the child ages into later infancy, around 6 to 9 months old, sleep becomes triphasic, consisting of 3 sleep periods per day. And then, at around 12 to 18 months old, sleep becomes biphasic, which means 2 sleep periods per day. By 5 years, children have usually developed adult-like monophasic sleep. The transition to monophasic sleep has been suggested to reflect maturational changes in the child's brain. Therefore, the variation between children in the timing of napping cessation may be a marker of cognitive developmental stage. The ages associated here with each sleep phase track the general course of sleep consolidation throughout development. However, the timing of each phase varies considerably between children. Children may stop napping at any age between 1 and 5 years old, with 2.5% of children ceasing to nap even before they are 2 years old. The largest variation in napping preferences is seen between the ages of 3 to 5 years old. So, even when children are grouped with peers in their age range, there will be considerable differences in their napping requirement. There is an abundance of evidence to support the link between sleep and learning, with the suggestion being that an improved quality and quantity of sleep enhances the individual's ability to learn and remember new information. It is suggested that during the deepest stage of sleep, which is known as slow-wave sleep, the newly learned information is reactivated, and this leads to the strengthening of the memory through its transfer from short-term to long-term memory storage. Moreover, it is suggested that learning creates new neuronal connections, and sleep downscales the strength of the connections between weaker memory traces and enhances the strength of stronger memory traces, so that only important memory traces are kept. In addition to the direct links with memory, napping has also been linked to other factors that relate to the child's ability to learn. For instance, napping affects children's executive functioning during the day by increasing emotional regulation, inhibitory control, attention, and accuracy on tasks. For instance, Berger and colleagues found that when children aged 30 to 36 months old were presented with an impossible puzzle, they displayed more frustration and negative emotions when sleep deprived compared to after a nap. Daytime naps have been specifically examined for their beneficial effects for learning during childhood. The standard experimental design sees children participate in a task where they learn new information. This could be hearing lists of novel words, seeing pictures of animals, or having to remember locations of objects. The children are then tested for their ability to recall the information immediately after learning it, and again after a period of time. During that period, half of the group take a nap and half remain awake. The results of these studies consistently show that napping is related to improved performance on the memory task. This effect has been found for infants, toddlers, and young children, and appears more prominent the younger the child is. These results are usually driven by declines in the performance of the group that does not nap. This suggests that napping protects against memory decay. The effects appear to be long-lasting, as the enhanced performance of the nappers over the non-nappers has been found to persevere into the following day. However, declines in memory recall are not always observable for every child in the no-nap condition. An important factor is whether the child is a habitual or non-habitual napper. It has been found that when children who do not habitually take daytime naps are placed in the no-nap condition, they are able to maintain memory performance equivalent to the children that nap after learning. whereas the memory performance of children who habitually nap is dependent on being able to sleep after learning. The non-habitual nappers may have reached a developmental maturity whereby the memory trace is more stable and less vulnerable to decay during wake, and the capacity of their memory store in the hippocampus has increased to allow for the less regular consolidation of memories during sleep. This supports that individual differences in children's napping preferences reflect differences in neurological development. In support of this theory, after the age of 2, nappers do not attain more sleep than non-nappers. Rather, both groups sleep for the same duration during the day, and it is only the distribution of the sleep throughout the 24-hour period that varies. This suggests that the change is due to being able to tolerate longer wake periods rather than a drop in sleep need. So napping requirement appears to align with brain maturation. As cognitive development occurs at different rates, not all same-age children will necessarily have the same nap requirement. It is therefore advisable that children should be encouraged to nap as much as they need, rather than simply to nap as much as is possible. Often, nap time is removed from the day in order to provide more time for active learning. This structure is detrimental for children who require naps in order to consolidate the new information. Equally, children who no longer require naps find it challenging to fit into a structure that requires all children to participate in nap time, as the lack of stimulation may cause boredom and impact the child's ability to fall asleep at night. Nurseries and schools can best support their children by moving away from the one-size-fits-all approach and trying where possible to cater the provision of nap time to the differing needs of children in the class. It can be challenging for educators to meet the needs of the whole class when children are at different developmental stages. For classes that include some children who benefit from naps and others who no longer require them, nap time can be replaced with quiet time. This allows the child to choose whether they sleep or engage in quiet play, which provides them with a period of rest and calm time even if they don't nap. Quiet time should mirror nap time in that it is structured at the same time each day, in a designated location, and for a set period of time. The activities that non-nappers participate in should be stimulating to ensure that they fall asleep at night. Quiet time activities could include reading, completing puzzles, or colouring. Allowing children to decide how to spend their quiet time can be a positive learning experience, allowing children to practice identifying their own needs and regulating their behaviour by choosing sleep or an alternative relaxing activity. There are some signs that teachers and parents can pick up on during the day that show that children are either ready to reduce their napping or that they should not reduce their napping. Children may be ready to reduce their napping if they have difficulty falling asleep at nap time or don't fall asleep at all, they have difficulty falling asleep at night time, they wake up early, they show a consistent mood throughout days with no naps, and they don't show sleepiness during days with no naps. Children are unlikely to be ready to stop napping if they struggle to stay awake during the daytime after a full night of sleep if they don't have a nap. Their behaviours shift negatively in the evenings, for instance they become more grumpy or overtired. Children who are deprived of naps that they need share similar characteristics to sleep-deprived adults. They become emotionally dysregulated and may be giddy or irritable and inattentive. As children develop, their nap requirement will alter. Looking out for these observable behaviours and bringing them into regular discourse with parents can assist educators in making decisions about their nap time provision.